Well, hello everybody. It is a great day here at Fort McHenry, and for those of you who are back at the Inner Harbor watching on the screens, my name is Rob Ryder. I'm the air show announcer, and with me here in official and very, very accurate 1812 gear and wardrobe here, this is no malfunction here, is Ranger Vince. And Vince, it is great to be here at Fort McHenry. What a weekend.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience to see the Blue Angels streaking over the historic Star Fort that withstood the bombardment that gave our nation the Star-Spangled Banner. It doesn't get any better than this, man.
There is no doubt about that. It is a very inspiring thing for me to be able to stand up there and introduce the show and look at that flag with 15 stars, not the 50 that we have now.
That's right, 15 stripes too. As a second version of American flag. Our first had 1313, but the one that Francis Scott Key saw that inspired him, 15 stars, 15 stripes, the Star-Spangled Banner.
We sing the first stanza. There are three others, and maybe we'll have an opportunity to share some of those other words in that remarkable poem that Francis Scott Key wrote. But let me ask you something about the history of it. Because what's the rocket's red glare? I thought they were firing cannons.
They were firing cannons, but the British had other weapons too. It was the shock and awe of 1814. The British had special bomb ships that could hurtle a 200-pound exploding shell 2 miles. Those shells came from a mile high in the sky. So when you see the Blue Angels and they're up there, those shells came from up there too. The rockets were the technological wonder of the age. They looked like fiery fingers in the night sky streaking toward the fort. And that was the idea, to try to burn the fort, destroy the fort. And yet the guns held out. The defenders held out, hunkering down behind the ramparts.
Well, it is as I say, it is very, very inspiring. It's nice to understand a little bit more of what Francis Scott Key saw. And you know, this is a time for some of us to be somber in a moment like this. On the other hand, I would prefer to call this more a celebration, because this is the war that some people refers to as the Second War of American Independence. But it also established the United States as the preeminent naval power in the world, overcoming 600 ships of the Royal Navy.
That's right. Well, it defended the freedom of the United States, and the war really gained America respect. You know, prior to the War of 1812, British ships were stopping American ships on the high seas, forcing them into the Royal Navy. The flag, our country's flag, did not have the international respect before the war that it gained because of the war. And after the War of 1812, people respected that flag. Our own people respected it, foreign countries respected it, and that paved the way for the future expansion of the United States.
That is a great addition to more than just the fact that we overcame the biggest and most powerful Navy in the world.
That's right. Well, that's when...
That's the tactical win, but the strategic win.
That's right. The strategic win, that's when the past comes to the present. History is not just a bunch of dates. It's not memorizing every general. It's about that feeling, that emotional feeling like Francis Scott Key had, seeing the flag, and that connection. The frigates of 1812 of the U.S. Navy, that was the blend of speed, maneuverability, and firepower. What's the epitome of speed, maneuverability, and firepower today? The Blue Angels.
There's no doubt about it. It is the evolution of what naval power has become in the United States, being able to project its power anywhere in the world from an aircraft carrier fleet, and then get those Hornets in the air and take care of all that.
That's your point. In 1814, this was the front line. Now, this is way behind the lines, because we can project that power to keep our shores safe for many miles around. Whereas here in 1814, our shores weren't safe. There was a battle right on this ground that we're standing right here.
Very good. Thank you, Vince Vaise, very much. Now, tell us a little bit about the uniform, and then we're going to introduce a couple of your buddies here.
Sure, it is the 1812 Battle Rattle. You see the colors red, white, and blue. We patterned our uniforms after the Europeans, so the hat that I wear, this crest-shaped hat, made famous by the Emperor Napoleon, known as the chapeau de bras, the hat that can literally be tucked up under the arm. And this was the dress that you would wear for parade. This was the dress that you would wear for special occasions. But this was also your battle dress uniform. This was your BDUs of 1814. So it was really a time where officers, like today, you lead from the front. The field music that you're going to see, a little bit of twist in there. They're wearing red, but they are Americans because they were so critical, those musicians. That was your signals. That was your drum calls. You didn't have BlackBerry. You didn't have radio. You didn't have you guys with these microphones, man. You saw all the communications had to be by the fife and drums, just like when the fife and drum played as the Star-Spangled Banner was hoisted the morning after the battle.
That's great. Vince Vaise, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, give Vince Vaise a nice round of applause. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Seamus, Tyler, come on down here. Would you guys join us in here? First, we've got on the drums, we have Seamus Ertel. Seamus, you are a park ranger, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am.
And is this part of your normal duties here?
Just about every day, yes.
Wow. So some of the times you wear what they call the brown and green?
The gray and green.
The gray and green of the Park Service.
Yes, sir.
And then you get to wear the red, white, and play the drums too.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Very cool. And Tyler, let's see, Tyler Mink is the fife player. Tyler, and you are also a park ranger?
That is correct.
Tell me a little bit about how you got involved in the Park Service.
Well, we used to play fife and drum down in Ellicott City, and when that didn't work out in the end, we eventually got adopted by the Park Service here at Fort McHenry.
That's cool. Here's what I'd like you to do. Are there specific melodies and rhythms or calls that you play for certain different parts of the battle? Is there something you do on that?
Yes, sir. Normally we play, when the flag is raising, we'll play Yankee Doodle. That was played when the flag was raised after the British gave up their fight.
Would you like to play that? Would that be appropriate to play? All right, ladies and gentlemen, Seamus Ertel and Tyler Mink, let's listen to the music of the fife and drum. Tyler and Seamus, let's give them a nice round of applause. To all of you back at the Inner Harbor, stick around. We've got stuff starting at 1 o'clock on the water with the Navy Swick boats, and then we start flying at 2 o'clock with lots of aircraft, culminating at 3 o'clock with the introduction of the Navy's Flight Demonstration Squadron, the Blue Angels. My name is Rob Ryder. We'll see you a little bit later on. Thanks, everybody.